Hi, welcome to Expand Your Us. This is the introduction to the fourth week of Lent in 2021 and is the third week of March. I grew up in an achievement oriented household. Our Protestant work ethic was actually our life ethic, and we were raised to work longer and hustle faster than anyone else. This led me to believe all sorts of things about how my value was rooted in my effort. Looking back, I know it is truer that we were being taught to demonstrate our value as beloved kids through our effort, but the two messages still conflate for me at times in devastating ways. Part of adulting is exploring the unintentional messages you've adopted and to clarify what remains for you. But as kids, we were so loved, so believed in, that we were encouraged to try and excel in any blessed thing we took a liking to. It was amazing. My parents were always game to teach a thing, to drive a distance, or enlist for an adventure. Now, as a parent of four, I have no idea how they found the energy to encourage us to try so much. I often encourage my kids to try to be quiet and not make any plans that require my help. In all seriousness, though, my need to go, to do, to produce has been with me since I had language to describe that drive. I live life at a sprint, which means the last year has been a relentless teacher of stillness, of silence, and of solitude. I'm so grateful to have been grounded in this way. And I recommend this term grounding with at least three connotations that I'd love for you to consider. So, one version is the air traffic control when they announce that flights are grounded and all hell breaks loose in the terminal as people's plans vanish. And the grounding as punishment earned by wayward teenagers who refuse to abide by the rules help or set to help them and others flourish. And grounding as the contemplative practice of spiritual grounding, helping one be present in one's body in the very moment one is in. Grounding is good for us. It hurts, it frustrates, it destroys plans, it slows us down, it restricts us, and it is good for us. This week of Lent, ask how grounding functions in your own life. And P.S., this is really a backdoor into a conversation with yourself and God about how and why you do what you do. How much of your doing, of your pre COVID routine, is a way for you to prove to yourself that you belong, that you are valuable? What happens to your sense of worth when you're forced to stop doing, when you are grounded? For me, my understanding of my place and purpose tends to vanish when the thing I do, or the institution I challenge, or the people I teach are taken away. It's terrifying. I fear sometimes that I'm built to perform, and so I feel lost when I'm grounded. But by leaning into the wisdom that I found in silence, and the presence to be found in solitude, and the value found in stillness, I'm learning another way to be. When we were younger, we sometimes stumbled across the rare Saturday when no one had a game, a practice, a rehearsal, or a job. My youngest sister always anticipated this little miracle first. Armed with the knowledge that no one had to leave, she would patiently wait until one of us appeared to be going somewhere. Then, dressed in PJs and a bathrobe, she would throw her little body between said person and the door, yelling, "It's bathrobe day! You can't leave!" Knowing what this meant, the person would usually start laughing, gently trying to resist her order. But looking up, other siblings would begin to chant, "Bathrobe day! Bathrobe day!" So, inevitably, having succumbed to peer pressure, 15 minutes later, we would all be in PJs starting a movie marathon. The only movement allowed on bathrobe days was when one poor soul had to make milkshakes for the rest of us. My sister knew things that I didn't, even as a kid. She knew that grounding was good for me. She knew that every productivity addict secretly longs for bathrobe day. Lent offers us a similar kind of wisdom. This week, approach grounding with curiosity in your life. Ask yourself to wonder if you matter even when you can't produce. Allow yourself to ask God how to trust you are loved even when you are alone, how to know your life has impact even when your stillness slows your roll. how to know your voice matters even when only God can hear it. This week, pursue grounding for all the good and ugly it might reveal in you. Try bathrobe day and separate the you that does from the you who is. She is in you, and she deserves to know she is loved before she does a thing. I pray you notice that when you are grounded, you stumble into a beautiful grounding before God and others that allows you to sit in stillness, in silence, in solitude, and in love. So this week we have two quotes to consider. One is from Francis Schaeffer, where he says this: "But how sobering that I can bring forth out of my thought world into the external world either that which leads to life or that which produces death in other men. We must understand the reality of communion with God and loving God, that it must take place in the inward self." And then from Henry Nouwen, contemplative prayer deepens us in the knowledge that we are already free, that we have already found a place to dwell, that we already belong to God, even though everyone and everything around us keeps suggesting the opposite. Friends, I pray that you enjoy thinking about grounding. It might be painful, it might be really fruitful, um, but we're in it. And I pray that you would take a chance to look around and to talk to God about where you are. The readings for this week continue with the poetry of God, and they can be found at expandyourus.com. I hope you enjoy your week, and I'm so glad to spend a little time together. Goodbye.